Former U.S. security contractor Edward Snowden was granted Russian citizenship after leaking highly sensitive information from the country's National Security Agency in 2013. In this video, we'll take a look at the most recent terrifying leaked file, which has shocked the entire world. The 39-year-old whistleblower shared classified information about top-secret NSA programs, including the PRISM surveillance program, with The Guardian and The Washington Post, which both published their first exposes in early June 2013, while he was still an agency employee and subcontractor. Snowden's leak of thousands of documents sparked lengthy and heated debates about the balance of national security and individual privacy, earning him both praise and treason charges. The first leak, based on top-secret information stolen from the National Security Agency by then 29-year-old Edward Snowden, was published in June 2013 by The Guardian. Snowden was working for Booz Allen Hamilton as an intelligence contractor in Hawaii at the time. That would almost certainly not be the final leak. Journalists have released approximately 7,000 top-secret documents entrusted to them by Snowden in the years since, which some claim is less than 1% of the overall database. Snowden was born on June 21, 1983, in the U.S. state of North Carolina. He dropped out of high school and attended a community college on an irregular basis between 1999 and 2005. Snowden enlisted in the Army Reserve in 2004 as a Special Forces candidate, but was discharged the following year. In 2005, he worked as a security guard at the Center for Advanced Study of Language, a University of Maryland research facility affiliated with the National Security Agency. He was hired by the CIA in 2006 after demonstrating his computer skills without a formal education. Snowden left the CIA in 2009 to work as a private contractor for Dell and Booz Allen Hamilton at the NSA. He began gathering information about various NSA activities, including the classified surveillance program. After obtaining medical leave, he traveled to Hong Kong in 2013, just before his leak became public. The scandal broke in early June 2013 when The Guardian newspaper reported that the U.S. National Security Agency was collecting tens of millions of Americans' phone records. The secret court order directing Verizon to hand over all of its telephone data to the NSA on an ongoing daily basis was published by the paper. Following that report, revelations in The Washington Post and The Guardian revealed that the NSA tapped directly into the servers of 9 internet companies, including Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and Yahoo, to track online communication as part of a surveillance program known as PRISM. GCHQ, Britain's electronic eavesdropping agency, was also accused of using PRISM to gather information on online companies. Shortly after, The Guardian revealed that the leaks about US and UK surveillance programs were the work of ex-CIA systems analyst Edward Snowden. In the United States, he has been charged with theft of government property, unauthorized disclosure of national defense information, and willful disclosure of classified communications intelligence. On 21 June, The Guardian reported that the UK spy agency was tapping global communications fiber optic cables and sharing massive amounts of data with the NSA, its US counterpart. The newspaper revealed that it had obtained documents from Edward Snowden revealing that the GCHQ operation, codenamed Tempora, had been in operation for 18 months. According to the report, GCHQ had a larger data collection than the US, tapping into 200 fiber optic cables to monitor up to 600 million communications every day. The data from internet and phone use was allegedly kept for up to 30 days before being sifted and analyzed. Although GCHQ did not violate the law, The Guardian speculated that the existing legislation was being applied very broadly to allow such a large volume of data to be collected. On October 24, the Italian weekly L'Espresso reported on GCHQ and NSA eavesdropping on Italian phone calls and internet traffic. Edward Snowden was cited as the source of the revelations. 3 undersea cables with terminals in Italy are said to have been targeted. Enrico Letta, Italy's prime minister, called the allegations inconceivable and unacceptable and said he wanted to know the truth. After fleeing to Hong Kong, Edward Snowden told the South China Morning Post that the NSA was responsible for over 61,000 hacking operations around the world, including many in Hong Kong and mainland China. In Hong Kong, He said targets included the Chinese university, government officials, and businesses. We hacked network backbones, which are basically huge internet routers that give us access to the communications of hundreds of thousands of computers without having to hack each and every one, Mr. Snowden was quoted as saying. According to Germany's Der Spiegel magazine, claims surfaced on June 29 that the NSA had also spied on European Union offices in the US and Europe. I am deeply shocked, says Martin Schulz, because I believe the United States should treat the European Union as a partner, not an adversary. According to the magazine, leaked NSA documents show that the US spied on EU internal computer networks in Washington and at the EU's UN office in New York. Edward Snowden, according to the paper, showed it the top secret files. One document dated September 2010 explicitly named the EU representation at the UN as a location target, Der Spiegel wrote. According to the documents, the NSA also conducted an electronic eavesdropping operation in a building in Brussels that housed the EU Council of Ministers and the European Council. It is unclear what information US spies may have obtained, but observers say details of European positions on trade and military matters could be useful to those involved in US-EU negotiations. After German media reported that the NSA had eavesdropped on Chancellor Angela Merkel's mobile phone, the German government summoned the US ambassador on October 24, an unusual step. The allegations dominated a European Union summit, with Merkel demanded a full explanation and warned that trust between allies could be jeopardized. She spoke with US President Barack Obama on the phone about the situation. He'd assured her that her calls were not being monitored at the time and would not be in the future. However, the White House did not deny previously bugging her phone. Past secret police surveillance, whether Nazi or communist, has made Germans extremely sensitive to privacy issues. Merkel grew up in the former East Germany, where the Stasi spied on millions of citizens. Meanwhile, France's President François Hollande expressed concern about reports that the US had monitored millions of French phone calls. According to The Guardian, the NSA monitored the phones of 35 world leaders after being given their phone numbers by another US government official. The report was once again obtained from Edward Snowden. According to a secret file obtained by The Guardian, 38 embassies and missions have been targets of US spying operations. The paper reported on July 1 that countries targeted included France, Italy, and Greece, as well as America's non-European allies such as Japan, South Korea, and India. The EU embassies and missions in New York and Washington were said to be under surveillance as well. The file allegedly detailed an extraordinary range of message interception methods, such as bugs, specialized antennae, and wiretaps. The codenames of alleged operations against the French and Greek UN missions, as well as the Italian embassy in Washington, were also mentioned in the Guardian report. Activities to protect national security, according to U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, are not unusual in international relations. The revelations in Brazil's O Globo newspaper on 10 July that the NSA ran a continent-wide surveillance program outraged U.S. allies in Latin America. The paper cited leaked documents indicating that the NSA ran the operation from a base in Brasilia until at least 2002, seizing web traffic and phone call details from across the region. U.S. agents allegedly collaborated with Brazilian telecommunications companies to spy on oil and energy companies, foreign visitors to Brazil, and major players in Mexico's drug wars. Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, and Chile all demanded answers from the U.S., but the revelations about Latin America kept coming, and in September, more specific claims emerged that the presidents of Mexico and Brazil's emails and phone calls had been intercepted. In addition, the U.S. had been spying on Petrobras, Brazil's state-owned oil company. In the most high-profile diplomatic move since the scandal broke, Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff canceled a state visit to the United States. According to documents obtained by the Washington Post in mid-August, the NSA violates U.S. privacy laws hundreds of times each year. The papers revealed that U.S. citizens were inadvertently spied on for reasons such as typos and system errors. In one case in 2008, a large number of calls were intercepted after a computer program error entered 202, the telephone area code for Washington, D.C., into a data query instead of 20, the country code for Egypt. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. Subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We'll see you with another interesting video.